I'm a professional gamer, and professional tournaments are what I live for. Um, it is a kind of unique chance for the fans, the teams, and the tournament and the players to connect in a very special way. Um, when you're playing from home, you play qualifier matches and important matches, but it's not as important as tournaments where you all get together. And the reason that it's special is because hearing all that energy from the fans and just seeing how a tournament is set up and playing like face to face with other players, it's really very different. And I would even go so far as to say it's a kind of a contradiction to the stereotype that sometimes exists for gamers. The way that gaming is like a thing you do alone and that you do from home. You do this on location in another country with all these amazing new experiences, and you meet these people who you only know by name, but when you meet them, it feels like you're friends already because you have the same background and the same passion, and you've probably talked a lot online, and you already know who someone is in a way. And I just find that in general the atmosphere at such tournaments is very friendly, but at the same time it's also very competitive because basically you come there for one reason, and that's to play the tournament and win. So overall, I would say a professional gaming tournament is a pretty wonderful experience for professional gamers as well as for the fans. When I get to a tournament venue and it is my intention to prepare as well as possible, I pretty much do everything to try and make sure that my shape is as good as it can be on the tournament day. And it already starts the night before. Obviously, I want to get enough sleep to be well concentrated and well rested so I can bring my A game the next day. But one thing I also do is I really try to place an image in my mind about how I want to play the next day. I kind of try to envision, I guess you could say I try to envision my victory, or I try to envision my game style, and I'm thinking about who I'm going to meet probably the next day. And I place that image, I try to burn it into my memory, and when I fall asleep, I would usually tend to dream about it. And I find that when my unconscious treats certain problems I might have with the strategy decisions, or when I just let it sink in on a subconscious level, really find that um, I really find that I could have fresh ideas when I wake up, and invariably I would wake up with a kind of eureka, or with a kind of okay, I'm ready. And I just remember that on such days, on tournament days, I wake up with one name in my head, like okay, the name of my opponent. I'm gonna play him now, and I'm ready. I thought about it all night in my sleep, and it just sets me up in a kind of way that I'm prepared. And it goes like that with all the kinds of preparations that I want. And then in the morning, of course, I make sure I have a hearty breakfast, and pretty much just try to think a lot about the game, about how I'm gonna do it, but at the same time I try to be relaxed and don't overthink. And then I just try to get some exercise. Usually that's done by walking to the tournament. It helps you kind of keep your nerves under control. And then when I get to the tournament, it's just try to put yourself in a box. Try to shut yourself out from the world. Nothing else matters. It doesn't matter if you're at a fair where there's a lot of sound. It doesn't matter who's sitting next to you. It doesn't matter if someone bumps into your chair. Someone can hang you upside down and you still shouldn't notice it. It's just you, the opponent, and the game. That's all. And if I can manage that, my concentration is perfect. And then I can bring my best game to the table. Well, the funny thing about rituals for a tournament, uh, on the one hand, you may have some rituals that work for you, but on the other hand, you may think like it's superstitious. Um, it's not good to be superstitious, I guess, because that's basically accepting that you place your faith in the role. I mean, you place your fate in the hands of destiny. And well, as a player, I like to think that I have control over how I'm gonna do. But at the same time, there are certain rituals which I feel have proven themselves to be effective in putting my shape in the best possible way. So I like to, well, I like to drink a lot of water. I like to, well, not talk to too many people. I kind of shut myself down. I remember my mother was at one tournament, and she puts it so funny when she recounts the story of how it happened, that she saw me on the tournament day and I was just like, "Hi mom," kind of like a zombie. I mean, I saw her and I almost didn't see her just because I was so focused. For me, a ritual is just to really draw back into myself if I can. And well, one thing, if it's inappropriate, you should cut it out, but I try to make sure my bowels are emptied. That works very well for me.